What's up, Winchendon? This is the August episode. Just wanted to introduce our police chief, Dan Walski, who's going to talk about the police department, all the good programs that they have, and give us a little bit of a tour of the building. Take it away, Chief.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the police station. This building is over 116 years old. It was built in 1908. It's housed many different things over the course of the last 100 plus years, including a courtroom, a dentist's office, a clothing store, and in 2016 it became the police station. We're happy to call it home, so welcome inside. So these are our sharps container and prescription medication dispensers. So if you have any medications at your home, say you have a loved one that passed away, or maybe you were provided a prescription and you no longer need to take it, but you have extra pills left over, you can safely, opposed to like flushing them down the toilet or throwing them in the trash, you'll have some obvious concerns with that. Instead, you can bring them here and deposit them safely here. Same thing, the sharps container would be for, say, needles, like if you're a diabetic, and again, you're afraid to put them in the trash or leave them somewhere else, you can safely bring them here to the police station. This gets emptied out periodically. I think remembering the history of the town and the department is important, not just for the members of the department that are working currently today, but also for the townspeople. Some interesting photographs here that were donated. This is the police department in 1914. And over here we have the police department in 1967. For the first time in over 20 years, the police department contracted the services of a professional photographer. We took this photo a couple of years ago, and this is the department, with the exception of one new person on here. But this is the department in front of, as I mentioned, this building, which is over 100 years old. This building is affectionately known in town as the Artisan Building. And again, it's been a great home for the Winchendon Police Department. Okay. So this is the Winchendon Regional Communication Center. The Communication Center provides dispatch services for the fire department, police department, DPW of both the town of Winchendon. Here, we'll give him some. As I mentioned, it provides dispatch services for police, fire, and DPW for both the town of Winchendon and the town of Royalston. Currently, we only have one dispatcher working, and that's usually the norm. For the size of the town and the call volume that we receive, ideally, we'd like to have two dispatchers in there all the time because realistically, the call volume warrants it. But we're trying to do the best that we can with what we have. So, of course, we always need at least one person in there answering the phone and on the radio, and that's what we have today. So I'm going to show you a few different pieces of technology that we have that illustrate how the Winchendon Police Department has really moved into the 21st century. Now, in the last 5 to 10 years, the police department, I'm sorry, not the police department, but police in general, really been under a lot of scrutiny, particularly in the press, and the public demands more transparency. And to respond to that demand, there's a few different things that we've implemented. One of them being body-worn camera program. We're proud that we're one of the first police departments, we're among the first police departments in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to adopt a body-worn camera program. And so this camera is affixed to every officer's front of their uniform. And anytime they're involved in any interaction, whether it be a traffic stop, responding to a call, this is activated and everything's captured on camera. And that does protects the public as well as protecting the officer. So it's a program that we're proud to have adopted here at the police station, and it's something that I think the officers have really embraced.
And how long have you been implementing that?
Since 2022. This is one of our police cruisers, one of the newer ones. And again, I want to show you some of the equipment that's on the inside and some of that equipment that really speaks to the fact that the Winchendon Police Department's entered into the modern age of policing. All right, so this is called a mobile data terminal. It's a laptop computer, and the officers can run license plates from inside the car, and they can get real-time information from the Registry of Motor Vehicles as to the status of a registration, the status of a license, whether it's active or not. There's other information that they can run. They can even communicate with the dispatchers via, text message here. Part of the body-worn camera program is also a dash-mounted camera here, and this is a little screen, and same thing. So the camera worn on the body is great, but this provides even more on traffic stops, or if the officer was responding to an accident. It's really going to capture the scene right here, and so again, it's a great tool. It fosters transparency, but it also provides protection for the officers. And so again, the officers have embraced this technology, and it's become really standardized. It's become standard in policing today. For those of you that are not aware, the police department is a internet purchase exchange location. So if you order something from, say, a website like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, and you're leery about doing the transaction at your home or at their home, you can come here and right here to the police station and conduct that business with a little bit greater sense of security.
How many police officers do we have in town?
16 police officers, including myself.
Okay.
And going back to dispatch, we have 16 police officers and 5 full-time dispatchers. I'd like to tell you about some of the different programs that we do throughout the year. So Winchendon has suffered from the opioid epidemic as much as any of the surrounding communities or any town in the Commonwealth. And so we've made that a point to really be a focus of the police department in addressing that crisis. And we have a multifaceted approach, one of them being a compassionate approach, where we do an outreach program called the Post-Overdose Support Team. Post-Overdose Support Team is one Winchendon police officer responds to the homes of people that have survived a drug overdose, and they are accompanied by a social worker from the Gamma Agency of Gardner. And they go to the home and they just make contact with the person involved and also their family. See if they're interested in any resources, any of the local resources. They notify them of the resources that exist, and if they're interested, we put them in contact to get them the help that they need. And that program's been very well received in the community. In addition to having compassionate outreach, we also think it's important to have aggressive law enforcement tactics also to mitigate the negative effects of drug use in the town. And so we do a lot of proactive stops and investigations trying to arrest primarily folks that are dealing narcotics in the community. We're excited about a potential opportunity. I applied for a grant a few months ago, and I'm waiting with fingers crossed that in the next couple of weeks I'm going to get the award letter. And if awarded, that grant is going to provide us the funds to actually establish a drug task force that would be made up exclusively of Winchendon Police Department officers. And the focus will be targeted patrols in areas of town where we know that drug dealing is going on. So targeted patrols, targeted motor vehicle stops, trying to do investigations that lead to search warrants and arrests for illicit narcotics. So we're really hopeful to get that grant, because even though we try our best with the limited resources that we have, and again, it's a small department, 16 officers for a town of over 10,000 people, we try to be as aggressive as possible. But every officer's duties are can't be dedicated to just that one thing. So our attention is divided amongst all the different tasks that are required of police. So if we get this grant, we can pay officers overtime, and during the course of those overtime hours, their attention will be exclusively on drug enforcement. We're very fortunate to have School Resource Officer Tracy Flagg on the department. She's been with the department for almost 30 years, and all of you probably know her. And she, of course, when school is in session, is in the school buildings. And of course, and it's an unfortunate thing to mention, but it's a reality in this day and age, is everyone that has young children in schools is concerned. You turn on the news and you see all too often school shootings and school violence. So Tracy Flagg, Officer Flagg, along with other officers from town, they conduct ALICE training every year, and that's probably the preeminent training for school systems to prepare the students and the faculty to be prepared for an incident such as some kind of a violent incident. And we hope that they never have to utilize that training, but we hope that the residents of Winchendon can take some comfort in knowing that our officers do that training and prepare for those situations with the faculty and the students. A couple times a year, Officer Derek Blair does an internet scam awareness prevention class at some of the senior facilities. He does one at the senior center. He's done that at Ipswich Drive and Hyde Park Drive. And it's a program where he tries to educate and put some information out there. Some of the things to be careful for when you're on the internet. And unfortunately, a lot of seniors are susceptible for becoming victims of internet scams and other different types of crimes. So it's been a valuable class. It's been well attended and the information well received. We intend to do those classes again in the upcoming year.
Chief, could I just interrupt you there?
Sure.
So what should someone do if they fall victim to one of those scams?
Sure. So the first thing they want to do is come here to the police station, either call or come to the station, and we'll do an initial report. A lot of times, unfortunately, there's some jurisdictional issues because given the nature of the internet, the perpetrator could virtually be anywhere in the world, and most of the time they are. They're they're on another continent, sitting in behind a computer somewhere, perpetrating these crimes. But that's the first place you want to come is here to the police station and file a report. There is a website that we can direct you to with the FBI, because again, there's some jurisdictional issues. But the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come here, and we can evaluate the situation, evaluate the circumstance, decide, is this something that we think potentially is a local crime, or is this something that we need to request the assistance of a larger agency that has broader sweeping jurisdictional resources.
I mean, the reason I ask that is because I just don't want, I know if people fall for a scam, they can feel like embarrassed about that and just say, oh, okay, I'm not going to let anyone know that happened to me. But that could lead to further problems. They could become a further target. When someone knows, oh, we got this person, let's go back after them. So I just think it's important that people realize that they should come to the police and should report it. Not to feel embarrassed that they're not going to be judged, for falling for a scam.
Absolutely. And another thing to consider, to your point, is that a lot of times if somebody comes forward and reports a scam, it may even be a situation that we're not aware that's occurring. And so there's a particular method that they're using. And once we see it, we can educate people about it. And when folks are educated, then when they click on that email and they see something, they say, oh, gee, I remember I just saw, on Facebook from the police department that this particular scam is going on. This is exactly what they were talking about. So it may prevent people from becoming victims. So you're absolutely right. Don't be embarrassed, because the reality is the folks that are perpetrating these scams are very sophisticated. So you have people that are really advanced with computers, and they still are victims. So nothing to be ashamed of, and certainly something that you want to report. We've had a canine program now. We're on our second dog. Our dog now is Blitz. I'm sure many of you remember Clyde. He was beloved in the community. In fact, his picture's downstairs. Someone was kind enough to paint a picture of Clyde. We have it hanging up downstairs. But the K-9 program is great. It's a great tool for the police department. His training is in search and rescue, so he can find lost people. But he's also like what's considered a utility dog. So he has a lot of different skills and a lot of different training. So search and rescue, also what they call article like searches. So he can find things. If somebody were, say there was a crime that involved a knife and they threw it into the woods, he could potentially go out into the woods and try to find that based on scent. And then he's also has training in drug detection. So he's able to identify through scent a variety of different narcotics. And so of course that's a really helpful police tool. And he's also, foremost, he's a working police dog. But he's also, like I said, everybody loves Blitz. And so he's also great for connecting with the community. This is our booking room. This is where we process any arrestees. Arrestees are here and the officer's here to do the booking paperwork. And then we have 3 cells here in our booking area. As you know, this was formerly a courthouse, so this portion of the building was already here. It pretty much looked the same before we moved in. There was a few minor changes, but for the most part, this was already here.